Hey, Composed Gloves here. I am wearing a hat, and today we're going to be talking about tuplets and duplets and whuplets and suplets and whatabaduplets. So let's get into the tuplet thing. We're going to be talking about borrowed time. We're not stealing time. That's a story for another day. We are here illegal in the rhythm department for now, and we want to borrow some time. What's this whole borrowed time fiasco? Well, let's say you're writing a rhythm. You're writing something in simple meters. So here we have a meter of 4/4, and we have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then so we play and we're like, oh, that's an interesting thing we got going on there. How? Well, I want to do something else because this is great. I like breaking our beat up into two. We get this dun 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 thing. But what if I want to go dun 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 dun, or like dun na 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 na, something like that. So we go 1 and 2 and 1 lolly 2 and or in that case it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 lolly 2, 4 and it'd be like that, right? So we'd have this lolly. We want to break our third beat up into 3 equal parts instead of 2 equal parts. Well, that is when we start borrowing. Says that's not simple time. That's not simple. That's compound time. So we would need 3 spots here. How do you accomplish this? Well, we accomplish it using something called borrowed time, and the tool that is the delivery system of borrowed time, that, my friends, is the tuplets, the land of tuplets. They're great. You have these things called duplets and these things called triplets and 6 tuplets, and I suppose you could have 9 uplets and any sort of manner of uplets. So let's talk about what sort of why does this matter to me? Well, let's write a couple. So right now I have one over here. So we could go like this. Let's just do the second measure one. So let's go to I'm on cells, so that's all handy dandy. So you see that's like, whoa, what just happened there? Now one that's a little more common because people work in this one a bit more is this sort of a deal. So that right there is a triplet. Now, well, it's a triplet, but there are different types of triplets. So triplets just means there's 3 because there's trip. They're not tripping, but they'd be tripping. So then we've got over here, let's say that we're working in a, okay, so let's get into triplets. Let's get into an example. That way I can bring us over to tuplets. Or duplets, I mean. So we're moving in a simple meter, which means we're breaking things into 2, right? Beats broken into 2. Da na 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 na. And then we want to break something into 3. Now, so let's look at this at a very basic standpoint. So here we've got something broken into 2, and we want to borrow some time right off the beginning. Compound time has owed us money for way too long. It's time for them to pay up. So we're going to go to our snap setting up here, and I'm going to go to 1/3 step. So this is going to give me the ability to do what I want to do. And what we're going to do is we are going to break this up so that there are 3 equal segments. So I need 1, 2, 3. So you can see, I don't know how many I just did. What is that, 4? So 4 of these steps. Now, this is the point where viewing the thing as a 16th note does not work anymore. But, so this gets kind of weird. We're not going to deal too much with this step setting because honestly, you can write any rhythm you want, but dealing with the step setting can get weird. Essentially, I believe what's going on here is we're just breaking the steps up into thirds. So we had, how many steps did we have? Originally, we had, if we go to cell, we had 4 steps in this amount of space. And we break it up, now we have 3 in the same amount of space. So you can so if you were going for 16th note tuplets, you could do that here, except for it's 3. So these are for these are great for tuplets. So if we did half step, you see we broke it into 2 in that same amount of space. So and over here we got 3. We go up to 6, I believe is the highest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how the step setting works. I don't think about that too much because I don't usually have to think about it too much. I usually be dragging off the grid if I want some sort of different things. But if you want to write 6 tuplets and stuff, it could be valuable. But you could do this sort of. It gets a little weird. We'll talk about that. So anyways, we have just taken what was 1 beat and we have split it up into 3 equal parts. 1, 2, 3. This is called a triplet because there's 3 of them. So there's tri for triplet. So we have triplet instead of 1 and 2. And now we've got 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly. So, and of course, we probably should give some sort of an emphasis to the first one. And that's really great and dandy. So what about this though? There are other kinds of, now this is a triplet. There are other types of triplets. For example, we are looking at this while giving the quarter note. We're saying, hey, let's break this here quarter note. What if instead we said we don't want to break the quarter note up? We want to break the half note up into 3 equal pieces. I'm like, well, this can't do anymore. So how do we do that? Well, you simply do something like this. This is where, make sure I got the right lengths. Cool. So these are quarter note triplets because there's 3 and they're quarter note. Those were 8th note triplets. This is quarter note. 8th note triplets are by far the most common that I see. Now quarter note triplets you see quite a bit too. I've even seen half note triplets occasionally. But those are, so you have 3 half notes in the space of 1 whole note. And so you see you can get sort of this, you're just breaking things that were like solidly could be split in 2, and you're like, I'll break them in half. And the music, they'll actually just write 3 of them, and then they'll put a little bar, a little dash thing with a 3, and then like this. So they'll have 2 little bars pointing around, and there'll be a 3 in the middle around the notes that you want. So, and with us, it's pretty straightforward. You see the 3. And so now we could do something like this. So let's say that we wanted that first rhythm, but this second time around, we want this da, da, da. So you see, it's pretty cool. So we're borrowing some time. We're like, hey, we're messing around in this time. And then we're like, bang, we borrow some time. Now, of course, we can do this the other way. So these are triplets, but then you have things like tuplets. Now, I have seen them occasionally, but the most I see of tuplets are usually 2. I don't usually see things of like 4 or 8, but they do exist. And of course, it's just, you can get all sorts of weird. Some people really go to town on this stuff. But you can see there's some very, very interesting rhythms that we could be missing out on if we don't have this borrowed meter stuff, borrowed time stuff, borrowed meter, borrowed time. And so what we're going to do is let's make a duplet. So we've got a triplet, so that's 3 in the space of 2. Let's say that we've got a fundamental meter or a fundamental rhythm going on, and we're going to change our steps so that we have, let's go to 6/8. Why not? We became friends with 6/8 in the last video. Maybe you didn't, but I did. And so what we're going to do now is, we have this 6/8 notes, right? So these are 8th notes now. And we're looking at these and we're going, oh, yeah. I remember that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, I want to borrow time. So right now we're breaking our thing up, because this thing originally came from trying to give the dotted quarter note the beat, right? And so this technically is outlining a beat. What if we want to break this up into 2 equal segments? And we're like, to do that, if we want to do that, what we got to do is we got to split it right there, right? So let's get rid of this guy and this guy. Now we have borrowed the time. This is a duplet because there's 2 in the space of where there was 3. So it's a duplet. And so these are really, really handy dandy rhythms that a lot of people sing and hum and stuff, and they just have no clue what it is they're doing. So let's listen to what a duplet can sound like. And I'm gonna emphasize our change back right here as well. So you see, it's pretty cool. It creates this sort of dun, dun, like, whoa, that's like waggity whack, man, dude, bro. So anyways, I'm just having a party over here. Tuplets are often scary to some people. They don't get them. They are a mysterious fact of rhythm that they understand sort of how they work, but because they lack understanding about meter, they don't really understand why they're there. They're just borrowing time from another meter. So we're like, right here, we're like, oh yeah, go back to simple meter here for a second, and then boom, back to compound meter, and we're rolling. So that's tuplets. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.
Wow.